Hello and welcome to your reading. If you selected the first pile or this deck right here, this reading is going to be a message from your spirit guides. We're going to be using astrology cards, oracle cards, as well as tarot to get the messages that spirit may want to convey to you at this time for clarity, for guidance, to assist you somehow on your journey. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm super excited to see what comes out. I'm so happy to be doing readings again. It's been a little bit since I did one, about 2 weeks. So I am so happy to be sitting down and connecting to spirit in this way. It's actually a full moon today, so I am expecting these readings to be very potent, very powerful. And it's a gorgeous day. The sun is out, shining. Okay, we have the 7th house and the 5th house, and then we also have release and transmute. And we'll save this one as an advice card for later. Okay, so right away, your spirit guides want to point to your relationships. It could be a significant partnership here. I have supporting cards that are speaking of a marriage, a long-term union. And then we also have the 5th house, which is inviting, creativity, fun, romance. I feel that maybe that's what spirit wants you to focus on, is on having a good time. Celebrating with your loved ones, celebrating with your partner, with others, with significant partnerships. I think that you are probably someone that has a lot of responsibility. You're probably responsible for other people, showing up for other people. Maybe you're a nurturing presence, someone that provides resources, home, food, money, time, just those types of very material, tangible resources. So you could be a parent or some type of caretaker, and naturally that gives us a lot of responsibility to be busy all of the time, always having things to do, things on our plate, people to take care of, things to manage. Just feel like you probably always have people coming to you, needing something from you, like you are a leader of the pack to some capacity here. And spirit just wants you to kind of like take that burden down a notch, because maybe you've just been going, busy, your planner filled with tasks and you can barely catch a break, or it feels like that. And maybe you're finding yourself so busy within like your responsibilities and your duties that you're not making time for fun, for rest, for creativity, romance. Spirit wants you to open the door for that, to invite that in, to slow down, first and foremost, slow down. Take a second to notice, like, how are you walking, because it can tell you a lot about what state of being you're in. So for example, if you're at the grocery store or the park or somewhere and you're walking, are you walking like super fast? Like, is your nervous system always like so used to just going quick and being on the go and moving fast? And like, are you like speed racing through life type of situation? Like spirit is like, just take time to notice how you're walking, notice your pace, slow down, take a deep breath and release tension out of your body. Walk slow, smell the flowers, or however that saying goes, like stop to smell the flowers and just relax. It's very important for you to make time to relax, to rest, to slow down, to really focus, like, how am I breathing? Put attention on that. Breathe intentionally. Breathe deeply, slowly. Same thing with your movements. How am I moving? How am I walking? Drop some of the tension, because you deserve to rest and relax, as someone that does so much, You could be a mother, a father, a husband, a wife, be taking care of children, like I said, be taking care of someone. You're like someone's caretaker, is what I'm seeing here. And Spirit just wants you to have fun again, to kind of be a kid again, connect with your inner child, have a good time, have fun. It's not always about the tasks and the duties and the responsibilities, even though I see that could be a very real thing here. I'm not trying to say oh, just drop your responsibilities, because I know sometimes that's just not possible. But Spirit wants you to kind of create time, maybe for creativity, for fun, for lighthearted energy, or just to simply reconnect with your inner child, so that while you're in your role of responsibilities and doing your daily duties, you're coming from a different place. You're coming from a place of excitement, of curiosity, of adventure, of wanting to try new things. For example, it's a Tuesday, and on Tuesdays you stay in, you make your Taco Tuesday meal for your family, and then one day you're like, you know what guys, let's go to this really amazing taco spot downtown. I haven't been there in so long, and it's a Tuesday. It's so random to go out to eat on a Tuesday, so out of the ordinary for us, but let's just go. Let's just do something different, spice things up a little bit, like that. Just have more fun, open the door for new experiences, for adventure, invite some change into your routine, invite some heat. This could also be for people that are not in a long-term committed relationship or position in life. This could also just be for anybody, a message for anyone. Be open to this. Be open to meeting people, to dating, to love, to inviting that heat, that fire into your life. Maybe, you have it going on when it comes to work and money and being able to provide, but you're kind of lacking a little bit in that area of really connecting with others, or a specific person, a specific other. Maybe you're single or something, and Spirit is the time is ripe to meet someone. This would really bring a lot of fire, a lot of excitement, which is something I think Spirit is really indicating here that you could use, that you need, that could really help you release some tension, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I just feel Spirit wants you to connect with people. It could also be that you're not connecting enough with friends, but I really do take this as a love thing. I feel you're not connecting enough either with your significant partner. If you do have one of those, you guys need to spice things up. You guys need to go on dates. You guys need to spend more time together. Plan a little weekend getaway or something. Make it a regular monthly thing, or a weekly thing if you can. If you're single, you might want to open yourself up to meeting people. Go out, do the things you love to do, because the best way to meet people is just being your authentic self and doing the things you love to do, and going to those places that really light you up, that make you happy. And that's what will attract to you someone that is compatible to you, your person here. This is really fun energy, Spirit just wants you to have fun, to go out, to play, to invite romance in, creativity, adventure. Be open to romance, be open to love, to having fun. Spice things up in an existing relationship, or be open to meet new people, new potential romantic interests and partners. Be more open to dating, because there's really strong indication that if you are single and you don't have anybody, that this is a time in your life where you're probably going to meet that person. That person might come to you, but there is some type of responsibility, or Because I do think that you are a very like responsible person. You take your daily routines very seriously, but there's something about that, you know, the way your approach to your day-to-day life that is kind of like, I don't know, like it's just blocking out the fun, and then that blocks out any potential like love interests from coming into your life. Or if it's not love, I mean, I have strong indication that it's love, but just more fun, just more joy, more adventure, connecting with your inner child. You know, it's not always all about work, work, work and feeling bogged down and burning yourself out. It's just as important to make time for rest and peace and fun, and to pace yourself. You know, don't move so quick, so fast, so, you know, be so set on your goals that this is, you know, that you have tunnel vision. Like Spirit wants you to enjoy life a little more, you know? It's like you're missing the beauty all around you. You're missing the miracle of life all around you when you're so focused and have this tunnel vision on your day-to-day tasks. It's like you are removing the magic of life, the excitement. I think it's because, you know, like your role is to be like this really like responsible person, and like that's how you're wired. I just feel like you're just wired to like be super like swift and get things done and tackle things and always have like the solution and always be on the move, on the go. And, you know, Spirit just wants you to kind of like take the edge off a little bit, calm down, slow down. It would be a good time for you to practice some mindfulness techniques, like some breathing exercises, some yoga. These are really good ways for you to like calm down, slow down, rewire your brain, your central nervous system to just be a little more present, more mindful, more in the moment, and to enjoy that, to, you know, enjoy your surroundings and all aspects of your moment, your current situation. Just be more at ease, more at peace. I feel like maybe you being in this role, in this position, you know, doing your daily routines for so long, it could make you feel like your natural inclination, like your natural expression is to be very like maybe sometimes harsh with your words. And it's not because you mean to, maybe it's just because, you know, like you're just trying to do your job, play your part, and get things done and keep things moving, keep things flowing. So you can be maybe very like short with your words, or your words could sometimes come out very cold or harsh. And it's only because you're in this mode of like being very abrasive and like rough in a way, like with your day, and like, okay, got this done, now we got to do this, come on, let's go, everybody in the car, grab your stuff now. You know, like you know, the people around you may perceive you as like having that type of an energy, because I feel like you use your mind a lot. You're always thinking, your mind is always going, what to do next, what's the next thing. And Spirit just wants you to like sit down and breathe and have fun and not take your every single day so serious. Because I do see someone that is super busy. So again, like I know that you're probably really busy, and you're just like, yeah, well, if you knew, or if only you knew. That's easy for you to say, you know, but there's always like ways that we can approach our day, even if we are very busy. Maybe on the car ride, put on some meditation music and breathe on the car ride. Squeeze in a little 20-30 minute yoga practice in the morning, in the afternoon, or at night. You can literally do breathing exercises anywhere you go. Just be mindful like of your breath. Like one of my favorite ones is the 4-7-8. You inhale through the nose for 4 seconds, you hold it for 7 seconds, and then you exhale through the mouth for 8 seconds. And just do that 3 to 4 times, and it can really just bring you back down, calm you down, bring you to the moment, to the present, so that you can awaken to all of the different ways that you can invite creativity into your day. There's always a way that you can invite creativity, that you can have fun, have a different perspective, have a different approach to how you tackle your life, your day. One that's going to be more calming, soothing to you, and one that's going to invite in more fun and joy and spontaneity. And it's just gonna make you feel like a kid again. I'm getting vibes here of you're gonna feel like a kid again, which is amazing. So, don't stay stuck. Move. Be open to change. Don't hold on to this way of doing things, to this way of being. Maybe you look at other people's lives and you're like, wow, that person has it so fun or has it so easy, or you can't relate to like other people because it seems like they have so much time maybe, and you're just like, I don't have time for that. Or but yeah, Spirit just wants to like emphasize to you that to be open to change, be open to movement in the way that you show up, in the way that you do things, in your approach. Become more mindful of your state of being, of your movements, of your thoughts, of how you're going about your day. You're doing an incredible job. You're doing an amazing job, at your job, at your role, at what you do. And now it's time to give back to yourself, to make sure that you're being nurtured, that you're being taken care of, that you have someone that you can go to for advice, or for something that you can go to for some type of resource, You need to fill your cup. Spirit is saying like the way that you do that is by like going out on dates, having fun. Maybe plan, like if you have a family, if you have kids, plan like a family vacation, a getaway, just something where you can have a good time, let loose, and make it a regular thing. Invite that into your day-to-day. It doesn't just have to be on vacation or a weekend getaway or something. It's just like every day, like do something exciting that's going to make you feel excited. And it's going to make you see the magic of life and all of the opportunity you have, to invite that magic, to become aware of it, to wake up to it and let it in, Okay, so the advice card. The advice card is the all-encompassing hand. And it looks like that. So let's see. I love this deck. It's one of my favorite decks. It's Rumi deck here. So it's number 20. So that number may or may not be significant to you. Number 20 or number 2. So the book says, perhaps you are in need of reassurance. Perhaps you have been feeling somewhat alone on your path, or struggling with a matter deep within your precious, beautiful heart, and speaking of it to no one. Such loneliness that can foster in the heart. With no other to bear witness to your life experience, you may question your life, your sanity, your truths, and create doubt where no doubt need be. This must stop. You are worthy of so much more, and this suffering is not essential for your growth now. It is time to let it be and to open up to the touch of grace. So this oracle comes to you as the hand of the divine. It is the all-encompassing hand, the hand that has no limitation upon the blessings it can bestow, upon the troubles it can lift from you, upon the tenderness it can communicate to you through sacred touch. Allow that divine hand to reach for you. Do not turn it away. Do not let old shame, guilt, or mistaken notions of false independence keep you from accepting this heavenly hand. This divine hand will reach for you in your meditations, your sleep, and your prayers. It will reach for you through life circumstances, through the smile or hug you receive from another, or the touch of another human being. It will reach you through the song of a bird, the falling of leaves, the soft fur of a beloved pet, through song lyrics that seem to speak what you are feeling deep inside. The divine hand is reaching for you now through this oracle. Yes, says the great beloved, I am reaching for you. Yes, I know you. I would never abandon you. Perhaps you have turned from me unknowingly, forgotten how much I love you, because the world is in a forgetful daze too, and ignores the caress of the breeze, the joyful acknowledgement of every sunrise, and the reverence made radiant in every sunset. Life is the touch bestowed by my hand. Shall you receive me? Let me love you. Let me restore your soul and remind you there is nothing to fear now. Come, lay down your weapons and your fear for this moment. Quit using that mouth to cry for war or to cry in despair. Bring yourself to my table and use that mouth to taste some of this rich wine instead. Enjoy with me, in this moment, the unbreakable bond that lies between us. This oracle comes with a particular message for you. There may be a situation or circumstance in your life that you may feel is somehow unable to be solved. This oracle comes with reassurance that there is nothing beyond the reach of the divine hand of grace. All can be solved. All can be resolved. There is always a higher, better, more beautiful outcome possible. The divine has this situation in hand, and all is unfolding as it should be. Ask for help each day by saying, I ask for help this day and always through unconditional love. Thank you. And you can be more specific in your request, asking for help in a particular relationship, etc. The divine wants to lend you a hand. That is beautiful, and I think it correlates perfectly to everything that we already discussed. You know, Spirit just wants you to enjoy life more. You know, like it said, enjoy the sunrises, the sunsets, see the beauty, the magic that you have at your disposal all around you at any time. Even if it's just in the falling of the leaves, in the caress of a breeze, wind, in the song of a bird, you know, like all of these things you can only notice when you are moving slow, when you are slowing down, when you are present, when you are in the moment, when you are carrying peace within you, when you're not so much in your head. Spirit wants to open these doors for you to be able to experience that type of bliss and joy, but you have to open up to it. You hold the key, you know, and Spirit is just on the other side waiting for you to open that door so they can show you how fun and adventurous and absolutely beautiful life is and can be if you make way and allow for that to be your experience. Okay, so that was your message, group number 1. I truly hope it found you at a perfect time, that it brought clarity. I also do personal readings, so if you would like to book with me, you can email me at angelireadings@gmail.com, and I will be more than happy to send you more info. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye. Hello everyone who chose pile number 2, or this deck right here. This is going to be a messages from your spirit guides reading. We will be using astrology cards, oracle cards, as well as tarot cards to get these messages of guidance, to perhaps bring you some clarity that can assist you on your journey at this time. Spirit always wants to communicate and connect with you, so I'm so happy to be the one to relay the messages today. So first, let's check out the astrology cards that we pulled. This is going to be the advice card for later. I'm going to put that to the side. Okay, so we have Taurus and Jupiter. And then we also have Get Creative and Depth. Okay, let's pull Tarot. Wow. Okay, so let's see. It's so funny because we had Temperance in the exact same position in group number 1, so I find that very interesting. And we have double this Jupiter, this Jupiterian energy here is very present. So Spirit definitely wants you to go to the depth of something, to learn something, to explore something deeply. It could have to do with something that is related to the energy of Taurus. So this is something that is related to the way that you make money, to the things that you value, to nature, things that satisfy the senses. So, your surroundings, food, fashion, clothes. You have something that could be so useful to you, like in a creative way, like if it's a pocket of time or something. Like, for example, let's say you're on a leave of absence or something from work, and you're just like, instead of being like, wow, I'm so bored, I have nothing to do, I don't know what to do with my time now that I don't have to do this other thing. Like, Spirit is saying that something like is making way, is opening up for you to be able to kind of like dive deep in a certain area of your life. And they want you to take full advantage of this time that you have, this opportunity maybe to travel, this opportunity to do something like with this time that you have right now. Because I just feel like you have options, like there's space that's being created or that was being given to you, and you have options with how you could use this time. And this is actually like a very beautiful time for you. So let's say like you're looking for a job or something, like you're in between jobs right now, and you're like, upset or worried or bored, in this time of like in between point A and point B. And Spirit is like, take advantage of this time that you don't have like a job, that you don't have. I'm thinking of like teachers. You know how teachers, they work for like the school year, but then they have summer off, and then maybe like for some teachers it's like, okay, like now I don't have to go to work. I mean, I doubt anybody is sad about that, but it's just an example of like, okay, now I'm just sitting here for 3 months, or however long summer is. Like, now I'm just sitting here doing nothing, or not really knowing how to occupy my time. It's like something like that, where you have something right now, you have the luxury of time or something, or you have the luxury of being able to explore something, or to travel, or to do something. Like, something was freed up, and you're able to kind of like slow down, get relaxed, study something, experience something, travel. Like, Spirit wants you to get creative with this time that you have. They want you to see like how that there's so much you could do right now. Like, if you feel like there's not much to do, I'm just bored, I'm just at a standstill right now, there's really not much to do, Spirit is saying like, that's not true. It's just, you have to change perspectives, and something that you're reluctant towards, like this, if you're reluctant towards like the slowing down that's happening, it's actually here to expand you in some way, to open you up so that you can see like your own creativity, or like your own way of, I don't know, like it just wants to show you how you manifest, how you create things, like the way that you do that, so that then you become aware of your own process and like your own magic, and then you're able to access it, but it's like you have to learn how to access it. And Spirit wants you to take this time that you have now to learn how you uniquely access your creativity and how that comes through to you, because it's really going to invite in a lot of expansion and happiness. Maybe you're focusing on like, oh man, like I'm not working right now, I'm not producing anything, I'm not making money, and like, I don't know, there's something that you're perceiving it to be like negative, or something that's off-putting, something that you don't want to be experiencing, that you'd rather not need to experience, something that's more bad than good, when it can be just such an expansive time for you, where you can completely learn yourself in a way you've never learned yourself before, or have experiences that you've never experienced before, go to depths that you've never been to before. That's really going to unlock something about your creativity, and it's going to, I think, change your worldview of the things that you value, or your relationship to material things. Maybe you're going to see that it's not the actual material things themselves that is like what brings happiness and is what's truly important, but more so like it's your process, the process that it took for you to get there, like the unfolding that was, the growth, the maturity, how you feel. You're focused right now like on the material world. Like there's something about the material world, like your current situation, your current reality, that you don't like and that you're just focusing on, but there's something more that wants to like come through, that doesn't really have to do, it does have everything to do with it. Like that's the funny part, is it does have everything to do with the material world, but it's not gonna come from that place. Like it's not gonna come from you focusing on the material world, because when true change and true things happen from a spiritual level first, like it's an experience, something you go through, a shift in perspective, something that you like have an epiphany, you know, all of a sudden, and then you see it in a whole different light, in a whole different way, and it just creates depth to your experience or to your viewpoint, and can help you see things in a way that you hadn't been able to see before, you know? Or it helps you to get really clear with yourself about what areas it is that you are holding yourself back in. Like, how is it that you're holding yourself back by, you know, being maybe just like bored with life, apathetic. Maybe you felt rejected. You know, maybe you felt rejected. Maybe you really wanted this job and you didn't get this job, and now you're sitting there jobless and you're just like not happy about that. Or with a person within like a relationship, maybe you feel like you were rejected by a person and now it's making you feel really sad, and now you're just sad about that, and you don't think that there's anything to be excited about, or like there's nothing else, like there's nothing more. It's like, oh well, this didn't work out, or this is my current situation and it sucks, and here I am just having to get on with it and just live my miserable life, you know, like that. But really your life really isn't miserable. Like right now your life is like fertile and abundant, you know. There's so much opportunity for growth, and there's so much potential here for creativity, to learn, to travel. Even if it's not physical travel, it could be, but if it's not physical travel, it's like to travel deeply within yourself, to like travel and learning something that's very interesting to you, becoming like an expert on it, you know, like utilizing this time and this space to encourage your natural creativity to be tapped into, you know. Because when you're just like in this apathetic state and you're just like, whatever, like everything is dull, life sucks, it's like you're wasting your beautiful potential, your creativity that only you have, that only you can uniquely express. You're not in your power, you're not seeing how much power you have, like that you're the one in control, that you're the one in charge, that you can change your life, you can transform your life through your daily actions and the things that you choose to give your energy to, the things that you choose to learn. If you follow your bliss, you know, follow what naturally makes you happy, like tap into these things, like get to know yourself, learn yourself. This doesn't have to be a boring time, a slow moving time where nothing is happening, nothing fun is happening. It's going to depend on how you choose to perceive, you know, this point in time that you are in. We have depth here, and then we have the moon card here, which also shows depth. So what is this depth that Spirit wants you to tap into? Depth. So we got the Eight of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. I think what's being indicated here is your daily routine, like what you do day in and day out. I just feel like right now you are in some kind of a depth, right? Like you're feeling something heavily, something feels very heavy. Depth, you know, like your depth of emotions, like you're deep in your feels. I feel like you're very sad about something, or something here is making you sad. It could be making you very confused. It could have something to do with like partnership or your love life or something. This could have to do with the ending of a relationship, the cutting off of a relationship, or just a relationship that's on pause, that's on hold, and that has really made you become very deep into your feelings, like just feeling very sorrowful, very sad, or very confused at the very least when it comes to maybe relationships in your life, whether that's just familial relationships or like romantic relationships or just any kind of relationship. It could even just be friendly relationships. Pretty much I am seeing like an emphasis on, you know, you relating to someone or to others, and this somehow being stifled, this somehow being blocked, and this is creating a lot of sadness for you, a lot of confusion. But I do think that this was very divinely led by Spirit. I feel like even though you feel like things are not going your way, you're sad about things, you're missing like the beauty, you're missing the bigger picture. Spirit is with you, and Spirit has been with you throughout this whole process. They're the ones that are, you know, moving you through this because it was so necessary. I feel like maybe the way that you were connecting to other people in the past was from not the best place. Like it was unclear why you would create, you know, whether it was real connections to people or attachments to people. It was unclear where all of that was coming from. Maybe what you once considered to be a loving relationship, to be a harmonious union, maybe what you once considered to be those things actually was not those things. And actually you were coming from a place of confusion because you were coming from a place of trauma and wounding. And this is how you were kind of loving. You know, I'm hearing that Taylor Swift lyric, like, I loved in all the shades of wrong. You know, maybe you were loving in all of the shades of wrong, and it's not your fault at all, you know, but this is the process that Spirit is putting you through. Like it is releasing you from something. So if you feel like something has been cut off, something has been kind of like taken from you or something like that, I feel like it's because you were being consumed by it, or you thought that that's what your completion was. You thought maybe that's where your happiness was, but Spirit feels like you needed to see things clearer. You needed to see things more clearly. They wanted you to not be consumed by it anymore. They wanted you to grow from it and to realize that, you know, you complete yourself. I feel like also what another message I'm getting is that you were trying to connect to people or someone else to fill a void inside, when the only person that you can connect to in that way is yourself or Spirit. You know, oftentimes we devote ourselves to a person, wrongfully so, because we're searching, you know, to fill some void inside. But it's like no flesh and bone person can ever fill the void, can ever fill that empty space, but the love that you find within yourself, or, you know, the love of Spirit, your devotion to Spirit. You know, instead of devoting yourself to people, to a relationship, you need to devote yourself to Spirit, to yourself. Nothing can ever fill that void. You know, it's like you'll never find happiness like that. Even if you think it's happiness, it feels like happiness, eventually it might turn sour, it might go bad, something, because like an entire world view needs to shift. Like something needed to change. You needed to be able to see something, to learn something about yourself, to shift your perspective in the way that you view it. You needed to be able to see your own power, see that, you know, whatever you thought was your completion, it was coming from a confused space, from your shadow side, something that was still unresolved. And that's why you might feel like things are being taken from you. There's endings, things are confusing, you don't understand. It's because your entire worldview is shifting. Spirit wants to make you aware of your, you know, how you could be maybe falsely connecting to something, and instead of a real true connection, maybe it's just an attachment because of old wounding and trauma that you have yet to resolve, or you're not fully in your power like you could be. You were giving away your power somehow. And Spirit just wants you to go through this process, to go through this phase, because Spirit wants you to transform. Spirit wants you to have an entire new worldview. And it's also going to help you like tap into your creativity. This is a real huge time for creativity. I'm seeing that because I'm seeing Purva Ashada here. I'm seeing Rohini, and these are huge, like creative, beautiful nakshatras where everything is very magical and whimsical, which actually maybe you want to go on a retreat, like on a retreat, have some type of a ceremony. I personally don't know if like I recommend that or not, because I've heard like mixed things about, like doing like psychedelics or doing stuff like that. But I do see that being like indicated here. If that's your thing, or if that's something that you want to explore, of course, do that with someone that you trust and that knows what they're doing. I wouldn't recommend, I don't know. Obviously, follow your intuition, follow your own discernment. But maybe if you go like to a retreat, like somewhere in nature, where with someone that's knowledgeable, and you guys can do some type of ceremony or something to help you unlock something, like to help you unlock something, or to help you tap into like your creativity. Something about that is coming through. I'm not necessarily recommending that. I think, just take that as it resonates. But I am seeing like the solution to this is process. Like it is going to take a while. It is going to take some time for you to like go through these changes, to go through these shifts, to have your new beginning, to be like this brand new you that knows their power, that knows that they are the one in control, that feels whole and complete within themselves. Maybe, you need like a retreat, like a yoga retreat, somewhere beautiful in nature with other people that are knowledgeable, people that can help you, can assist you, go to like the depths with you, receive maybe some kind of a therapy, if you need to talk about trauma, if you need to go there to undo and resolve past trauma, like messaging and subconscious programming that you are still operating by, that still kind of consumes you and holds you back and doesn't let you be fully who you are, and I know it's a sucky process, trust me, like when you're just like, oh, like everything is going wrong, I'm not getting anything that I want, anything that made me happy, anything that I was looking forward to, like everything is just crap, you're just like, oh, this sucks, like something just feels like it's not being given to you, it's being cut off from you, and it's a sucky feeling. But I feel like Spirit, this is divinely orchestrated and divinely led. Like Spirit is doing this on purpose, because Spirit wants you to break free of your own self-imposed limitations. Spirit wants you to be able to see your power, to be able to unearth that part of you that exists. It's there. It's just like kind of covered through like your own like wounds and traumatic things that happen to you, that you carry with you, that still has a hold on you, that maybe you falsely attached to people because of that. It's holding you back. Like in the grand scheme of things, you not doing this work, you not going to these depths to undo this type of trauma, to undo these core beliefs that you hold, it's like making you falsely attached to people. Like you think there's a connection, you think it's a good union, but it's like it's faulty, because there's something about it that is like influencing this, that you need to look at, that you need to address, that you need to undo, that you need to change, right? And it's not going to happen overnight. Change doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. It takes work, it takes effort every day in order for you to make something else your new normal. It's gonna take work, it's gonna take dedicated effort and practice, and it's a process, and you're in this process. And it's divinely led, it's divinely orchestrated, and it might suck right now. I know it does. I get that. But trust me when I tell you that it's gonna be so worth it when you start seeing things clear, when you really start seeing like the fruits of your labor, when you start processing old unresolved feelings and wounds, and when you start changing this subconscious messaging and programming that is deep within you that may cause you to act in certain ways, was holding you back, now you can break free from that. You can create a new normal. You're acting different. You're rewiring your brain. It's a whole different experience, and now you can have true connections, because I feel like you really want that. That's so important to you, like connection and family and like true relationships. That is so important to you. And this work that you're doing here, that's what it's making way for. It's making way for this to happen, to clearing some space for you to create this true connection to people or to your significant person, however this resonates for you to find your true soul family, for it to not be an attachment, but a true connection. And you have to go into like your own spiritual depths. You have to see how do you operate, what are your behaviors, what thoughts do you have, what messaging exists. You have to learn yourself. You have to see what is the problem. This is a really good time maybe for you to get some therapy to address some of these things. I do recommend that, but I understand that therapy isn't always accessible. So there's so many like free therapy on YouTube that you can find, like licensed professionals creating content out there. Some of the ones I like are the Crappy Childhood Fairy. I like Therapy in a Nutshell. You can also watch Dr. Ramani. She has her own YouTube channel, but she has like a focus on narcissism topics. But you can also find her on another YouTube channel called Med Circle, where she has tons of videos as well. And just like really start getting to know like your psychology, your behaviors, your thoughts, your subconscious programming, what makes you tick, why, how, your perception. There's something about like your perception that is just weighing you down, bogging you down. It's making you see your life as like not what you want it to be. It's like you're missing the magic of your life because you have this faulty lens and perspective in which you're viewing it from, and spirit just wants to free you, liberate you from it, heal you. And so that's why they are guiding you through what may feel like a very dark time, sad time, sorrowful time, or you're being like disconnected from the people that you were used to, from the things or people, family, relationships that you were used to. Spirit is like cutting you off from them because you were attached to them in an unhealthy way or something like that, and like they want you to change your entire perspective, to expand, to change your world's view. So it's in turn going to change how you experience like meaningful connections in your life. So stay with your process. I know it sucks. I know it's hard. Let's see what your advice card is. It's called number 4, the Cloak of the Christ. So let's read this. Where's the book? Here it is. So number 4 could be a significant number for you. This Jupiter sign also looks kind of like a little number 4 there. All right, where are we? Number 4. So it says, you are tired. Your soul has been ravaged inside and out, and you are succumbing to struggle that is not karmic or necessary, but a symptom of fatigue and weariness of heart, mind, body, and soul. That which plagues you, whether it's something specific or a general nagging malice or anxiety that you cannot quite pin down, it is not as powerful as you fear. You are being given a grace here and now that it may be overcome. Remember, your reactions are a symptom of your exhaustion and a sign that you need sanctuary, restoration. They are not a sign that something must be done, so much as a sign that something must be received, allowed, that something is healing, made possible through divine protection. In this instance, protection is bestowed through the cloak of the Christ. This cloak is a sacred container that places your body and soul within the loving energy of the Christ consciousness. This unconditionally loving energy is not limited to the being bearing its name, but is shared by Rumi and many other holy ones. It is typified by wholeness. There is nothing within you that would cause the Christ to turn away from you. Not even those parts of you that may fill you with fear, shame, guilt, or regret. He and Rumi are sacred brothers, loving and supportive of each other, and they see your soul as one of their family, one of their own. You are so loved by them both equally and without measure. Can you allow yourself to take refuge in this knowledge, to feel it, not only as an idea, nourishing as that is, but as a visceral reality? The knowledge of the Christ's unconditional love for you is a safe space, a place to fall into when you are struggling. It is a sacred container for your healing process, an energetic field that is stronger and more enduring than even the greatest fears or doubts. The purpose of this sacred container is to provide you with a feeling of being held, especially for those times when you are feeling that you cannot hold yourself. Sometimes we just need permission to break down, to really let go, to come apart and be dissembled, so that we can break through, be lifted up, and come together in a new, more spiritually coherent and loving form to move forward. For you, this is essential. There is a person, place, thing, or belief that has come to be like a manacle around your wrist or an iron ball and leg iron, preventing you from moving forward with the grace you have earned spiritually. You're being empowered here to shed that. Don't hesitate. Let yourself be cloaked in the Christ energy and receive the spiritual assistance you deserve now. There is a reason for this. The unfolding of your life purpose is taking a turn for the better, and your energy is required to fuel that new life. Just remember, whenever we are asked to release something, it is because the divine wishes to fill our hearts and hands with more. Do not hold onto scraps for fear that the feast will be denied to you. Use your nose. Smell the feast awaiting you. Wow, that is so powerful, so beautiful. It is a time of healing. If you feel like something was taken from you, it was with a bigger spiritual purpose. There is a transformation happening here, something that must be let go, released. And I feel like you're in the process, you're seeing things clearly, you're seeing the bigger picture versus just like what's right in front of you. And whenever, like I said, whenever you need help, find that help. There's help out there, whether you can get like therapy or someone that you trust that can guide you through some type of a ceremony or help you process certain things, or whether you just get that free therapy from the internet and do it yourself. And even if it feels like it, you're definitely not alone and you're never by yourself. You're so protected. Spirit has your back. They're rooting for you, they're supporting you, they're holding your hand through this transition, through this change, this deep change. And it's going to be greater than you could even fathom right now, than you can even imagine. The connection, the pure, authentic, true connection, the bliss, the happiness, the alignment, the knowledge, the depth, the creativity, everything. It looks so good. It looks so good. It looks beautiful. But I know where you are right now could be very difficult. So big hugs to you. I also do personal readings if you would like to dive deeper into your specific situation. I would be more than happy to support you through this and to help you through this to the best of my ability. You can email me at angelireadings@gmail.com for more information. I truly hope this message found you at a good time, that it provided the clarity and the peace that you needed to continue on your process, to continue on your journey. It's looking so good for you. I'm so happy for what's to come for you, for this deep, meaningful change that you're going through, that's happening, because it's going to be so worth it. I promise you that. Well, that's your message if you selected pile number 2. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye. Hey guys, welcome to your reading if you selected number 3 or this deck right here. This is going to be a messages from your spirit guides reading. We will be using astrology cards, oracle cards, as well as tarot cards to get the messages today that spirit may want to convey to you for clarity, guidance, and support on your journey. So let's take a look at the astrology cards. This is going to be the advice card, so I will put that to the side. We have Scorpio, the second house, speak truth, and creation. Okay, let's go ahead and pull the tarot. Scorpio energy is strong. So right away, I can tell that this reading has a very strong emphasis on work, career, public image, how you're making your money, investments. You know, we have Scorpio in the second house here. This is that Taurus Scorpio axis that is being represented here of how you make your money and other people's money, you know, investments, shared possessions, shared resources. So this could be something that has to do with a career or a business that has been long-standing, something that's established, that has reached a good level of maturity in its process. Therefore, there's success. So yeah, I think this is mostly talking about, you know, like your own money versus shared money. So it's kind of like wanting to break free from a situation, an investment, a partnership, like a work partnership, a business partnership, wanting to break free from something like that. Something that you've maybe have been a part of for a long time, or something that was like inherited to you. You know, it's something that has like really deep roots. And I see someone maybe wanting to make a change in their image, a change in what it is that people perceive, see. I'm getting a lot of Scorpio energy here as well as Saturn energy. There's a foundational change that wants to happen, a deep change in terms of financial ties, business partnerships, business relationships, investments, shared resources. I feel like maybe you're not okay with the root of something, or there have been transformations, transitions, changes. The feeling is of someone that wants to break free. So for example, it's like if you have an inheritance, a shared resource or something, a shared business, and you know, you're changing, you're evolving, and maybe you don't want to do that anymore, or you've already reached, it could be that you've already reached like your full capacity there, like you've capped, you've reached what you could reach there, and you know that it's time for you to move on. Or it could be that you're not okay with something about the foundation of this business, or something is changing and you want to break free from it, or you just simply don't want to abide, you know, by other people's rules and expectations, and you simply just want to break away to do your own thing. You've built yourself up to the point that now you can kind of like break away and create something new, start something new on your own. But I am seeing here someone that is trying to make a decision, someone that's trying to make a choice, finding themselves at a crossroads. I see some like a completion. There is a completion of something here. So it could be like maybe the contract is up and you have to like renew it, or it's like an opportunity for you to leave. I am seeing like an opening here, an opportunity that you're going to need to make a choice, a decision about how it is that you continue forward. But I do see Spirit here wanting to indicate like a completion of something, a completion of a cycle, an ending, like leaving something behind and moving on to something completely different. I do see a need for change here, but I am also seeing like that decision being deliberated and really thought about, because this thing that you would be leaving behind looks very well established. It looks very successful. So maybe that's why there could be like a hesitancy to leave this behind. But something about it, whether it's something about the business that you don't like, whether you just don't want to be tied to it anymore, you don't want to be tied to other people, you don't want to be limited, you want to be more free to do your own thing, whether you just feel like you got the maximum out of this already and you want to experience something new. But I do see someone that wants to break free from like current investments, current business partnerships, current shared resources. You just don't want to have to rely and depend on other people, like other people's money to keep your thing going. So I think there is going to have to be some type of communication regarding this, where you're going to have to speak up about this and tell the truth, say the truth about how you're feeling, and start up your own thing. Like something that now reflects who you are and the things that you value more accurately, you know, because as time progresses, these things can change. So maybe at one point in time, this was perfect for you, but now after all of the years have passed, maybe you're in a different place and now you want to be maybe seen differently, or you want a change in how people perceive you, and you're seeing a need for that change to happen. Because I am seeing like a very successful business. It's been very successful, very materially abundant. And now it's kind of like about bringing form to that excess. So it's like you created something along with other people, or there was an inheritance or something, and it blossomed, it really flourished. It created an excess, it created a material abundance. And something about that, there's like something that doesn't sit well with you, because I have this devil energy here, and I just feel that maybe there's something about like the root of this, or the foundation of this, that no longer sits well with you, because you may have gone through like your own internal transformation, or the things that you value or the things that you are valuing have now changed, or are changing, are going through a transformation. So now you want to take this abundance, this excess that you've created here through investments or shared partnerships, and you want to create a boundary around it that reflects what you value today. I think that you created such a material abundance for yourself, or that was just accessible to you, that you were free to do whatever you wanted. But now you're seeing like the danger. I don't know, maybe you saw like the danger of what materialism can do. Like you saw like the bad, dark side, you know, like the dark side of materialism, where that's like what it does, what it can bring. It can bring addictions, it can bring attachments, unhealthy attachments. It can be all consuming if you're not careful. It's like having access to that material excess, to that material abundance, but through your own values and morals, being able to kind of like bring a form to it. It's like you're regulating yourself, you know? And the expression of those material gains, of those material resources that you have access to, will change. Maybe like the way that you're utilizing the money, what you're doing with it. I just see like an ending wanting to be made in a certain way that you have been producing your finances. There's an ending here that wants to be made, and there's a decision here that needs to be made regarding this. You want to create something new, something more boundaried, something more Saturnian is what I'm saying. Like you want to create something more Saturnian. So something like you want to limit yourself, but in a healthy way. I hope I'm making sense. Because I feel like you were in a place where, you know, things were growing, but they were growing in a very unbalanced way. They might have been growing in an impure way, you know, because I see like there's poison here. Okay, there was no inner or outer limitation. It was a total uncontrolled expansion. And I feel that you are maturing and evolving and coming to a place where you want to have like an inner restriction that keeps this expansion in shape, okay? Where there is still limitless growth, but it's balanced because it can control itself. Where before, if you have all of this excess and you're uncontrolled, so that can oftentimes, you know, bring people into trouble when they're just acting on their addictions, on the things that bind them, on their attachments, the things that consume them. And I think that you need the strength of your own soul to place these restrictions. When you don't have any restrictions, you know, like I'm thinking about like celebrities, or, you know, just doesn't have to be celebrities, but anybody with a lot of money. And usually like what do they do with that money? You know, for example, someone that wins the lottery, you know, there's so many stories of people that win the lottery and then like within the year they're broke again. And it's because they got all of this money, they became a millionaire, and they didn't know how to manage the money. They immediately went and like got their cars and houses and vacations and whatever like their truest, wildest desires were, or they could have been consumed by the money, the material, the Maya. They could have been consumed by it, and there was no form, there was no structure, there was no limit. They were just consuming. But someone that does have that that strength of their own soul to like place limitations, to place boundaries on themselves. Like you're placing these limitations on yourself, placing these boundaries on yourself that reflect your morals, that reflect your values. And then if you have like a more solid plan and a more boundaried way that you're, budgeting your money and how you're investing, then you can create something that's forever versus just like burning through your money because you had no self-control. You can take that money and build something from the ground up that will continue to produce for you. But you needed to have that discipline. You needed to have that discipline to do that. So that's exactly what I'm seeing here. It's like something about having like a discipline, creating boundaries, creating limitations where there were none before. I do see you having to come up to a decision. It's like you need to make a decision about this. It's going to require you to speak some sort of truth, like verbally speak it to someone so that you can make this cut or make this shift, make this change, and so that you can create something better out of this situation, something that, like I said, now reflects your new values, your morals. So let's see. Okay, so I'm seeing here that you're still unclear about how you're going to do this, how you're going to go about this, what type of communication you're going to use, your words. It's something that you're still not really willing to face right now or to take action on, maybe because you're still in that process of figuring it out, like figuring out what action needs to be taken here in order to like successfully end this cycle. I do see that you want to end something. You want to end something. You're being guided to end something, to reach a completion of something, because you want to purify something. Like there's something that you're doing that like maybe the foundation of it or the way that it was being done before, or maybe you just didn't have like that maturity or something. Like you want to change it, you want to shift it, you want to purify it, you want to release yourself from the attachments, from the poison aspect of it. And you're just trying to figure out like how you can smoothly make this transition, how you can, complete this phase and go on to your next phase, where you feel free and liberated and like you made the best decision, you made the right choice, but you're still deliberating on what that decision is, how you're going to do it, because it's something that you still haven't really faced yet and you haven't communicated yet. Like you're still gathering information, you're still kind of scoping it out, you're figuring it out still. But I think it's something that you need to do. I think it's something that it's for the best. You're seeing very clearly like what actions it is that you're going to have to take or what messages it is that you're going to have to communicate. Like, to be honest, you want to do this also like very like professionally, like you want to do this correctly, you want to do this right, because maybe you do have like a lot of eyes on you, or you are in some type of like position of power. So you do want to do this correctly, because I think that your actions really matter here. You can't be reckless about this. You can't be reckless. You have to be very like careful, measured. I want to say strategic. You want to do things in a very balanced and fair way, but holding yourself up to a higher standard. And there is something here about like listening to spirit and listening to like the Most High and taking that advice and taking action on what, like spirit is guiding you to do. It's like knowing that this is for the best, it's like having clear insight, like what's the best outcome, and taking action to make that happen. Even though I see that you haven't actually done that. Like you haven't taken any steps to do that. Maybe you're still in the phase where you're still figuring out how you feel about it. I'm seeing like the desert and like the dark night of the soul, the abyss. Like you're still there, I think, and you're finding your light at the darkest part still. So yeah, I just wanted to pull some cards for this creation. And yeah, like you want to create something different. You want to work for something else. You want to have a brand new beginning, a brand new start. You want to create something else, something that's yours, something that reflects your values, your new values. You want to place limitations on yourself because you don't want to get consumed by the Maya. You don't want to get consumed by the materialism like it's so easy for people to do. It may have consumed you, or you may have like indulged in your wildest desires, in things that, you know, are addicting, those types of attachments. And now you want to create like a boundary, you know, a limitation, but your own self-imposed limitation, not a limitation that someone else is creating for you. So it is based off of your own free will. And because of that, because with the Saturn energy here, because you are the one that's creating this inner restriction that is reflecting your morals and your values, and it's keeping the expansion, the abundance in shape, that is like the way that you win. That is the way that you overcome the lesson, because it needed to come from the strength of your own soul. There was no one else that was like putting these limitations on you. There was no one that was guiding you. There was no restriction, no help at all, you know? So it's a very like hard place to be, because you're just like running wild and free. So it's like when you're the one that can place these limitations and these restrictions onto yourself, that's when you have won the lesson. But this is a really good place to be, because it means that you had a true freedom. And only when you have absolute freedom and seeing what you could do with that freedom could you experience like this real state of the soul and its consequences. That's why it requires the most discipline, because you have to put these restrictions on yourself. And the restrictions that you put on yourself are those that are in accordance with your true will and with your dharma. And in order for you to do this successfully, you need to have integrity and discipline, or you could fall into the poison of the excess, of the abundance. You don't want to, you know, harm your own soul with your own God-given freedom. You have to keep your own self responsible, which can be the hardest code to keep. Knowing what your dharma is and having the devotion and the knowledge to stick by it so that you can live it out. That's exactly what this is. Thank you, Spirit. Because I know this is a big message. I wanted to make sure I'm like explaining it right. So that's exactly what's happening here. Is you're placing your own restrictions and limitations on yourself based on what it is that your dharma is here, your true purpose. So you're figuring that out. I think right now you're kind of like in the desert, you know, in the dark night of the soul, in the abyss, where you're still trying to figure that out, like, so that you can create your restrictions and limitations in accordance to whatever that is. You want to devote yourself to your dharma and your purpose, which is amazing. A lot of people get consumed. So the fact that you are here, you know, what this reading is showing me is that you're seeing something. You're seeing the need for restriction here. And I think you're just probably learning how to apply that restriction, because maybe you're still learning, like, what is my true purpose? What is my true dharma? But yeah, I think you also know that you need to walk away from something, something that seems very successful, you know, but it's like, you know, that that's how you're placing a limitation on yourself. And that's why it's so hard. And that's why it's such a big lesson to overcome, because it's leaving behind something that looks seemingly great and perfect, but it's like, you know, deep down that there's poison there, and you don't want to continue to be impure. You're trying to purify and create these restrictions for yourself, these inner limitations, to create the integrity to live out your purpose, not the ones that society and or anyone has placed upon you, or the ones that you're, attached to, consumed by, but one that's coming from a very true and sovereign place. All right, so the card that we have for the advice card is number 2, passion for purpose. So let's see what the book says. This oracle comes to you with guidance. You are being initiated more deeply into your life purpose. Your passion will reveal itself to you with more depth, nuance, and beauty than ever before. If parts of your life are dissembling or do not seem to be working out as you had planned, these are symptoms of the passionate revelation. Be curious and open to what presents itself in the wake of the falling away. Be ready for the journey within now. You are strong enough to leave behind the need for external validation while you learn to validate yourself. In time, soon enough, in fact, you shall reveal your innermost beauty and be witnessed and received, acknowledged for your innate value, purpose, and divinity. But for now, dive deep, be defiant, and determined to honor your heart so your deep passion may be witnessed by you and eventually, naturally, make its way into sacred expression in the world. If you have recently discovered a new talent or a purpose, or have been dreaming some big dreams, this oracle comes to you with guidance and confirmation. You are excited. Follow that excitement. Let it lead you into your own heart truth and onto an ever more passionate path of purposeful living. Each one of us has something in our hearts that means something to us. It is irrelevant whether it seems practical or a recipe for success or not. We are simply meant to be what we are, to serve life faithfully from a place of honoring the truth of our nature, that which we genuinely feel passionate about, and to allow for life to naturally support growth according to our genuine nature. Where we get into difficulty is not in bringing our genuine passions to life, for life supports this, but in learning to let go of attachment as to how that happens. We can struggle to free ourselves of the expectation we have to be something we are not. The divine path of love asks us to become conscious of and then unlearn the play acting of attempting to be a false self so that we may learn to simply love and accept our real self. We may even have a struggle on our hands to remember who our real self actually is. Fortunately, there is pleasure in the journey of returning to passion that can make the process of self-discovery a sweet one. But we must be brave, even in the sweetness of that journey, back to the real self. We must dare to believe that we are not broken, that we are not inadequate, or better off to be like some other person or some other person's view of how they think we should be. We must be brave enough not to believe in the layers of guilt and shame. We must be bold enough not to fear our passion. As we dive deep within and explore what really makes us tick, what makes us feel alive, we must be open, curious, and non-judgmental. This may be a subtle journey at first. We may feel as though we are looking in the dark, wondering if we will ever catch a glimpse of the light of passionate meaning. That passionate purpose may at first be barely recognizable amongst all the should, cannot, or must do of our lives. As we stay true to the path, however, that light will become unmistakably clear. Our passion will reveal itself to us as essential as our breath. We would feel as though we were not alive without it. How could we have missed it all those years? Perhaps all of those lifetimes. It will seem so obvious then, burning so clear in our hearts that it cannot be more obvious, that we simply must live this desire, this passion, this purpose, or else spiritually perish into a shriveled up shell of a person, denying of life itself. No, that shall not be. Passion must and shall prevail. So that's beautiful. I feel like, you're seeing where you want to make changes, what you want to detach from, where you want to purify, and you're making changes in what it is that you do, even though it looks super successful and abundant. There's a poisonous root here that you don't like, or you're just ready to express yourself in a different way that reflects your values and what you feel to be your dharma or your purpose today. You're still figuring that out. I feel like you are in a place where you're in the dark night of the soul, still trying to figure out what that is. You know that a decision here needs to be made. You haven't made it yet, but Spirit is telling you that you are going to have to communicate this truth and speak up about it so that you can kind of have your new creation, what it is that you build yourself using your own inner soul strength to create that inner limitation and inner restriction that is going to help you live out your purpose. I read this quote and it's coming to my mind right now, but it says something like, pay attention to the areas where you restrict yourself. Because if you're like self-sacrificing, it must mean it's something very important to you. So I don't know, maybe you needed that if you still need to figure out like what exactly your purpose is, if you're still trying to figure that out, like what it is that you want to create now that is going to reflect your truth more authentically to the world. Watch where it is that you naturally want to restrict yourself, because it means that that thing must be very important to you. And yeah, you will find your purpose, this is a promise. You will be able to consciously recognize what it is that you're passionate about, what it is that your purpose is, and to surrender to it. Okay, so that was your message. I truly hope that served you. I also do personal readings if you would like to dive deeper into your specific situation. You can email me at angelireadings@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.